Winter weather advisory kicks in overnight for the potential of accumulating snow. We'll track those chances coming up for you.
The cold weather has already turned deadly in Lexington, so we go along with volunteers as they make sure homeless people are protected from the elements.
How family and friends are remembering a Lexington teenager police say was murdered over the weekend.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good evening. It could be a rough morning commute across much of the bluegrass. Snow will be moving in overnight, and much of the state will be under a winter weather advisory.
We have declared a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day because of the snow. We begin our team coverage tonight with meteorologist Jim Caldwell. He has the updated snow forecast. Jim?
Looks like we could be running 1 to 3 inches still throughout most of central and parts of northeastern Kentucky as we head through the overnight. Snow's already, in some cases, getting cranked up out there. You can see it across southern Indiana and now even right into central Kentucky. Much like when we were on the air today around 6 o'clock, we were tracking some snow showers in the area. And again, that seems to be the case here tonight. Maybe these are actually reaching the ground. A lot of those earlier on today didn't have much luck as far as the air is very dry at the surface, so it had a little more of an obstacle to go through. Winter weather advisory runs through tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, just depending on your location. As farther south and east you go, the later your advisory goes. Here's that updated forecast. You can see 1 to 3 from basically Louisville, Frankfort, Lexington, Moorhead, and then you've got the 1 to 2 inch areas to our south and to our southeast. Now, don't get locked in on that high-end number, especially in those southern counties. It could come in closer to an inch or maybe even a little bit less in spots. Nonetheless, though, keep in mind, it will still be tricky travel for you as you head out early in the morning and especially through the day, with winds also getting cranked up, blowing that snow around, making for a messy go through most of the day. We will track it hour by hour coming up for you in just a few minutes, guys.
Jim, thank you. Lexington streets and roads crews say they are ready for the snow. Tonight, Mayor Jim Gray said those crews will be at work by 4 tomorrow morning to make the morning commute as safe as possible. For the last 2 days, crews have been putting down brine on roads, which helps keep the snow from bonding to the asphalt. As for the road salt, they say they will not use that until the snow actually starts to fall. Investigators believe the cold weather played a role in the death of a homeless man here in Lexington.
The Fayette County coroner says that 41-year-old Robert Johnson died of hypothermia. Investigators say that he was found dead early this morning near Wildcat Warehouse on South Broadway. Volunteers want to make sure this doesn't happen to other homeless people in Lexington. So today and tonight, they went around the city making sure the homeless have a warm place to stay. Our Garrett Weimer went along with them. He continues our First Alert weather team coverage.
It's easy to drive right by, not notice, not even know.
But where I've lived here my whole life, I kind of know, like on the way back out, we'll check this one. Under this bridge, they have them a camp. So they all have their own little campgrounds. We're just trying to get them in tonight. Hey, you guys need any gloves or anything?
I do.
All right.
They'll give them clothes, but what they want?
Listen, somebody passed away last night, so listen, please come in.
Volunteers opened up the Catholic Action Center on 5th Street as a second shelter for the night in case the community inn filled up because it's so cold.
Hello?
So they search.
They'll be here tonight, so maybe we'll stop back by when it gets dark.
And search.
See if there's anybody in here. This is one of their forts. Nobody's home right now, but I'm gonna leave them some warm clothes. Hello? Complain about nothing no more. I've been blessed my whole life. This is a man or could be a family shelter. This is where they live. We'll leave them some gloves.
Then they go back to searching.
Just so nobody, dies, and then sooner or later, our hopes is that we can, minister to them and get them back on their feet.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Now, people on the streets told us that volunteers really need some long johns. So if you'd like to help out, we do have some information on WKYT.com. And stay on top of the snow and traffic situations with the WKYT Traffic Plus Weather Plus Traffic app. You can download it for free in the app or Google Play stores.
Now to some breaking news that we're tracking out of Lincoln County tonight. Within the last few hours, police have charged a woman with murder for her mother's death. Stanford police arrested 51-year-old Michelle Stevens tonight. This morning, they received a call about Stevens lying in the front yard of a home in Stanford. After arriving, police say they went inside the home and found her mother, 78-year-old Carolyn Tiller, dead in the basement. Police said Tiller had an injury, but investigators have not said how she was killed. Tonight, family and friends remembered a Lexington teenager who was killed over the weekend. They held a candlelight vigil for 18-year-old Caleb Hallett. Lexington police say someone shot him as he sat inside a car along University Avenue. So far, police have not made any arrests. This was Lexington's third murder of the year. New at 11, Monique Blair talks to Hallett's brother.
This just doesn't feel real. Together, they stood on this cold Monday night, more than 200 of them. Friends and family of 18-year-old Caleb Hallett to say goodbye.
He was the best man I ever knew.
He was the most genuine person that I've ever met.
They didn't talk about how Caleb died, but instead they focused on the positive because they say that's exactly what Caleb would have done.
Never saw him mad. Never saw him sad. Always smiled.
For more than an hour, those who loved Caleb came forward talking about the many ways in which he impacted their lives.
He always pushed me to try my hardest. He made me love my mom the way I love her now.
And he felt like he was my brother. He done taught me confidence, how to be myself.
And as the evening came to a close, Caleb's brother Bryson told me Caleb, the young man who aspired to be famous, would have loved to see that all this attention was for him.
Because he was just such a beautiful person. Like I said, God wanted his best angel back.
In Lexington,
I'm gonna miss him so much.
Monique Blair, WKYT.
A GoFundMe page has been set up to help with funeral expenses. We have a link at WKYT.com.
New tonight, investigators have released the name of a man who died in a fire at a Fleming County home today. The fire started about 2:30 this afternoon on Gully Drive off Wallingford Road east of Flemingsburg. State police say 76-year-old Kenneth Hester was found dead inside the burned out home. They say that 67-year-old Lena Hitch was airlifted to UK Hospital where she's listed in fair condition tonight. Firefighters are not sure what caused the fire.
Traffic is still tied up on northbound Interstate 75 tonight, 7 hours after a crash. Lexington police say a tanker hauling antifreeze flipped over after colliding with a truck hauling goats near the Athens exit. No people or goats were injured. Police say crews had to unload the antifreeze before removing the tanker. One northbound lane has been open the whole time, but traffic is backed up for miles. Police hope to have all lanes open again by midnight.
New tonight, we're tracking the investigation into a deadly crash in Whitley County. It happened about 5 this afternoon on Highway 25 near Mountain Ash Road, a few miles north of the Tennessee state line. The Whitley County coroner says 59-year-old Sandy Petrie of Williamsburg died in the crash. The coroner says Petrie's truck ran off the road and landed in a wooded area. She died at the scene. Investigators are still trying to figure out what led to the crash.
New tonight, Governor Matt Bevin says he is moving forward with his plan to shut down Kentucky's health insurance exchange. In a letter dated December 30th, the governor told the federal government that Connect will cease operations, quote, as soon as is practicable. But according to federal law, that wouldn't be until at least a year from now. The decision will not affect health plans sold for 2016. Once Connect shuts down, Kentuckians would have to use the federal insurance exchange. Governor Bevin campaigned on a promise to get rid of Connect. In a statement, Kentucky House Democrats said the governor is putting politics over people.
It's a story of survival. A central Kentucky teenager spent hours trapped in a car after it crashed. How he says he got through that in 9 minutes.
And then he calls it a rotten move why Kentucky Senator Rand Paul won't be on the main stage at the next Republican presidential debate.
And snow is moving in right now, at least some light stuff, and it'll continue as we work through your Tuesday. We will track the winter weather advisory coming up.
Standing for Kentucky means being proud of where you come from and being proud of where we're headed. Kentucky's history, present, and future have a common theme: hard work. It took hard work to get here, and we Kentuckians know it will take hard work to get us through tomorrow. At WKYT, we're proud to tell the stories of everyday Kentuckians who aren't afraid to get their hands a little dirty to make this a better place to live. WKYT stands for Kentucky.
Yeah, I can't believe this DQ $5 lunch comes with fries, drink, and a sundae.
Can't believe it now comes with this KC barbecue burger.
I can't believe Randy's barbecuing.
Oh! It's barbecue season at DQ with the new KC Barbecue Bacon Cheeseburger $5 lunch. You need a breakfast built for work days, not weekdays. The chicken and gravy breakfast burrito from your DQ. A chicken strip plus eggs, cheese, and pepper gravy in a warm flour tortilla. Served with crispy hash browns and coffee. Just one of our delicious $3 breakfasts. Only at your DQ.
Alt Smoke Vapor Lounge specializes in a variety of electronic devices and refill liquids. Let our team of experts help customize your vaping experience. Stop in and see why we are Lexington's premier vape lounge. Touch, taste, and feel the difference with Alt Smoke.
My name is Tyler Cardwell. I'm 22, and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I was going down the Dixie Highway early morning, and somebody took a left-hand turn right in front of me. My hospital bills were over $300,000. Yeah, as soon as I got the first bill, I contacted Becker, and I was like, is there anything that you guys can do with it? And they was like, we'll handle it. They worked their magic.
Serious, experienced, results. Call the Becker Law Office. Just dial 3s.
Hey, we did it. We did it. We won. Our number is one! Carla, let me see that ticket.
Well, it was Kathy's turn to buy the ticket.
I had to work a double. Bill said he'd get him.
I had bowling. Late night. Yeah. So Daryl said he'd get him.
Didn't get my text?
Pickle the chickens?
No. Pick up the tick.
The only way you can win Kentucky's Powerball or Mega Millions jackpot is if you actually buy your ticket.
Only Rally's lets you create your meal for just $2. Get our famous seasoned fries with any choice from our meal deal menu. Why pay $4 somewhere else? The $2 meal deal. Way more choices for half the price. Rally's.
Epic meals, epic deals.
WKYT First Alert Weather is brought to you by Cartown Kia.
Tracking some snow into the area tonight on this First Alert Severe Weather Day. And that Severe Weather Day, by the way, carries over into your Tuesday as well. It's really for Tuesday because that's when the snow machine gets cranked up across parts of Kentucky. A little bit of light snow showing up on our Defender radar network tonight. You can see a little bit more into Indiana and even more into Ohio. It's just an organization trying to come together a little bit better. So if you're running into any flakes out there tonight, they're generally light in nature. And if you get under maybe a full-blown snow shower, you could see at least a little more intense area, but nothing like that showing up on radar at the moment. Winter weather advisory runs basically from the early morning hours tomorrow through the late afternoon, evening, into the nighttime period. The expiration time is a little bit later for folks across southeastern Kentucky because that's going to be the last area to see the final flakes fly. So winter weather advisory out for you a little while longer. What we have is a big swath of moisture. There you see all the snow embedded in with those clouds, and then a little more energy that's likely going to dive through and enhance our snow overnight because we still have some showing up well off to our north there in Iowa. So all of that energy has yet to even move into our general area. It's going to pick up a little more moisture too as it works closer to us. Here's the way it all plays out with the hour by hour. You see the moisture creeping in. We're at 6 o'clock in the morning, a little more activity and a little more organized. The organization means everything in this particular case. Front drops in. We're close to morning commute time and right on top of it, as a matter of fact, and you see the snow starts to increase. Perfect timing to cause a mess. We go on into the mid-morning hours. Nice heavier bands of snow trying their best to work through the area at this point. So that's going to be one of those cases where you could get under one particular band that produces most of the accumulation for the entire day. That's what might happen for many of us through the day tomorrow. Then you see it begins to wrap up. Down to our south, notice it's showing green. Well, that's because they'll likely be just above freezing there. So into Tennessee, not as much as far as the wintry weather concerns down there because of a little more warm air. And then it just gets cold behind that. We've got a lot of cold air coming. 1 to 3 inches. We've updated it, kind of tweaked some of the locations and some of the borders there. So 1 to 3 across most of northern, central, and northeastern Kentucky. Then you work your way into the mountains, which is traditionally a spot that usually sees a little bit more. Not the case this time, because it looks like the bulk of the moisture will ride along Interstate 64 and kind of stay away from some of the mountains. 1 to 2. I think a lot of low spots for you folks as well. Closer to that 1, maybe even lower than that in some cases. Now, one thing you won't escape will be the Arctic air. You might escape some of the higher totals, but that Arctic air is just going to dive in here as we go into Tuesday and into your Wednesday. Daytime highs, they're going to tumble on Tuesday. So we'll start out probably mid and upper 20s tomorrow morning, maxing out midday, and then by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, with the winds gusting, we'll see single-digit wind chill readings and possibly even early on Wednesday morning, sub-zero wind chill readings in the area as well. A lot of cold air coming at us at least Tuesday into Wednesday. We'll get a little quick recovery with 30s and 40s before it gets even worse going into the weekend with another round of snow and even more cold behind that. But we'll just focus on one negative thing at a time here. Tomorrow's snow chances 1 to 3. First decent widespread accumulation chance we've had.
Yeah, we got to get through the morning commute first.
Let's get to it, yeah.
There you go, Jimmy. Thank you.
A strange sight on a Floyd County road today. In 7 minutes, how a school bus ended up in an embankment.
There's no debate. Get $8,000 off MSRP on all select new 2015 Kia Optimas in stock at Cardtown Kia. And if you have a job bringing home $350 per week, we want to approve your credit. Visit CardtownKiaUSA.com today.
No two babies are alike. And no two birthing experiences are alike. At the Women's Hospital at St. Joseph East, we believe you should have your baby your way, with a birthing plan designed around you and a level 3 neonatal ICU. A personalized childbirth experience isn't just good for mom, it's good for baby. Kentucky One Health, the one name in healthcare.
Are you tired of juggling your finances and can't afford those remodeling projects? Ceramic tiles starting at 59 cents a square foot. Come on down to Surplus Sales for some great deals.
Go beyond the ordinary with striking design. Go beyond innovation with available intuitive touchpad technology. Go beyond utility with the Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Once driven, there's no going back. Lease the 2016 NX 200 Turbo for $369 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
I love Kentucky because it's my home. It's where I was born and raised, and it's me.
The people of Kentucky are proud to be Kentuckians, proud of the heritage, proud of the tradition, and I share that pride.
Whether they're single moms, elderly couples, working families, those are the kind of people that we help.
At the end of the day, helping Kentucky is what it's all about. If someone needs help or one of their loved ones needs help, all they have to do is give us a call.
Win. Lawyers helping people. 859-780-3333.
The family, the teenage drivers, the snow, the rain. The fact, Toyota has more top safety picks than any other automaker and has an all-wheel drive vehicle that fits you. Like this all-wheel drive Sienna, which outperformed Jeep Grand Cherokee and AMCI testing on snow and ice. Sienna has better acceleration and stopped 76 feet sooner. Now, get 0% financing on Sienna or $1,250 cash back. Toyota, let's go places.
Bringing the news to you when TV isn't an option. WKYT News, now streaming live on your mobile device. Always here, so you can be anywhere. Stay connected to the news that matters to you, like WKYT on Facebook.
There's no debate. Get $8,000 off MSRP on all select new 2015 Kia Optimas in stock at Cardtown Kia. Drive away in a new 2016 Kia Sorento SUV for only $189 per month only at Cardtown Kia. Visit CardtownKiaUSA.com today.
New tonight, a Marion County teenager says he is lucky to be alive. He spent nearly 8 hours trapped in his car after it flipped off a road and into a creek.
17-year-old Austin Tungate says he was driving down Highway 49 near Lebanon Saturday night when he lost control of his car. He briefly lost consciousness, but when he regained it, he says he was stuck and couldn't get out of the wrecked car. Austin says he could hear passing vehicles on the road and he kept screaming, but no one heard him or saw the crash.
When the water kept filling up, I'm like, I guess this is my time. It's my time, and I'm probably not going to live to see
the next day or probably the next few minutes. So I'm just like, I'm gonna pray while this is happening.
Family, friends, and police began searching for Austin after he didn't show up at his father's house. Finally, 2 of his family members driving down the road saw the car and called for help. Austin was taken to the hospital for some bumps and bruises, but he was treated and released.
New tonight, a woman faces charges after a 2-county police chase. The Lincoln County Sheriff says it all started this afternoon with a shoplifting complaint in Stanford. Police soon spotted the suspect, 36-year-old April Wallace, but they say she would not pull over. The chase continued into Garrett County, where the sheriff says the woman's car hit a Lincoln County deputy's cruiser. The sheriff says 2 deputies had minor injuries. They were treated and released from the hospital. Police say that Wallace has been charged with fleeing and evading, wanton endangerment, and assault.
New tonight, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul will not be on the main stage of the next Republican presidential debate. Fox Business Network is hosting the debate Thursday night in South Carolina. The main stage will feature the 7 candidates the network says have the highest poll averages based on recent polls. Senator Paul has been invited to the undercard debate earlier that night, but he told CNN he won't be taking part. He said the polling criteria Fox Business is using doesn't add up.
So we think it's a rotten thing to do to try to designate which candidates have a chance and don't, and so we will not participate in anything that's not first tier.
He claims recent polls have shown him in 5th or 6th place among the Republican candidates.
New tonight, the Laurel County Sheriff's Office is looking for 2 people deputies say have been passing fake $100 bills. Deputies released these surveillance pictures of the suspects. On Saturday, deputies say a man and a woman used 3 fake $100 bills at a Walmart near Corbin. The next day, they say the suspects went back to the same store and used 4 more fake $100 bills.
A ride home from school turned frightening for some Floyd County students this afternoon. Police say their school bus went off Cliff Road and into an embankment. They say the bus driver was letting a car go by when the soft ground next to the road gave way, causing the bus to end up in the embankment. No one was injured, and another bus picked up the children.
And once again, John Calipari fending off NBA rumors.
Yes, he did again today. First on Twitter, Cal had more to say about it tonight on his radio show. And we heard from Ty Wynyard today. He talked about pressure and food. That's next in sports.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on Wild 1039.
This is Brett Melrose. With winter almost here, the experienced team at Fayette Heating and Air stands ready to serve you. Dedicated to keeping you and your family comfortable around the clock. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with no additional overtime fees ever. Fayette Heating and Air, we're the biggest because we're the best. And we're here for you anytime, day or night. Call 233-0424. Fayette Heating and Air, complete home solutions.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? So today you're going to choose a mobile office. Okay. You can choose this Chevy Silverado, which offers built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi, or you can choose this Ford F-150, which doesn't offer Wi-Fi. But to make up for it, we added a trailer, a satellite antenna, and Dolores.
Hey, fellas.
What? So which one do you want?
I picked the Chevy. Definitely.
Or get this dependable Silverado All-Star Edition with a total value of $7,250. See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot is $15 million, and Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $1.4 billion.
If you have a business dispute, the consultation is free, and you don't pay us unless we're successful for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Our cancer patients are really special people. They're determined, they're tough, and they're such wonderful people to care for. It's really great to offer patients the standard of care, but then we have trials so that we can also give them the cutting edge, where we explain to the patient this is the standard, but this might be even better. Because of the excellent work we do, we've received an outstanding award from the Commission on Cancer. I'm Dr. Hain, and we treat every one of our patients like family at Baptist Health.
Kentucky Lottery's Keno, the exciting way to have fun every 5 minutes. If
fueling imagination,
funding education.
The flu virus hits big, with aches, chills, and fever. There's no such thing as a little flu, and it needs a big solution, an antiviral.
So when the flu hits, call your doctor right away and up the ante with antiviral Tamiflu. Prescription Tamiflu is an antiviral that attacks the flu virus at its source and helps stop it from spreading in the body. Tamiflu is FDA approved to treat the flu in people 2 weeks of age and older whose flu symptoms started within the last 2 days. Before taking Tamiflu, tell your doctor if you're pregnant, nursing, have serious health conditions, or take other medicines. If you develop an allergic reaction, a severe rash, or signs of unusual behavior, stop taking Tamiflu and call your doctor immediately. Children and adolescents in particular may be at an increased risk of seizures, confusion, or abnormal behavior. The most common side effects are mild to moderate nausea and vomiting. Anti-flu? Go antiviral with Tamiflu.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Like WKYT on Facebook.
John Calipari downplaying the latest story connecting him to the NBA, which came out last night. Cal first responded on Twitter saying he has absolutely the best job in sports and he plans on being at Kentucky for a long time. Tonight on his weekly call-in show, he said he's not worried about it at all. He said it's what happens when you're doing well. Cal did say when the rumors were flying, everybody at UK was trying to get a hold of him. He left his phone at home. Said he had 50 messages on it. Ty Wynyard has not played yet for Kentucky, but Cal has said he doesn't want to redshirt him. The 6'10 New Zealander speaking this afternoon for the first time as a Wildcat. He said he's needed to get in better shape. He also said he needs to eat better here in America.
Since I've been here, I haven't been eating very well at all. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't been eating well. You know, that American food, it kind of gets me. But yeah, when I was home, I was eating well, and then as soon as I get over here, I'm just eating fried chicken. And I kind of feel like a guy that doesn't really have much pressure on him, so the roof is just up there, you know, you can keep pushing yourself. And I don't know, I don't feel pressured. I don't know if that's because I'm a New Zealander and we don't feel pressure, but yeah, I'm not really feeling anything.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs come into Rupp tomorrow night, and Malik Newman will be in town. Top 10 player recruited by the Cats. Newman is the Bulldogs' second leading scorer, averaging 13 per game.
He's having a good year. He's getting better. He's shooting the ball better, playing him a little bit more at point guard, which is something that he wanted to do, and he's going to have a solid rest of the year. That's for sure.
And Dominique Hawkins remains out with an ankle sprain that was suffered in the Ole Miss game 9 days ago. Dominique has not been able to practice. Tomorrow he will miss his third straight game when Mississippi State comes in. Tomorrow night's game, the Bulldogs have been struggling. They have yet to win on the road this season. It'll be a 7 o'clock tip on ESPN. And the Cats game at Kansas, January 30th in Lawrence, 7 o'clock ESPN. Kentucky slipping down to 14th in the AP poll today. Kansas is number 1. Alabama about a 1-touchdown favorite over Clemson for the national championship tonight. Pick it up tied 7-7 first quarter. Hunter Renfrow catches his second touchdown pass of the game. 11 yards, Clemson takes a 14-7 lead. Bama getting the first big break on defense. Deshaun Watson throwing, picked off by Eddie Jackson, his 6th interception of the year. Short yardage then for Derrick Henry. This tied it up 14-14. That's how it was at halftime. Early third quarter, Jake Coker to O.J. Howard. Play covering 53 yards. Alabama went in front, but now Clemson comes back with a field goal and a touchdown. Fourth quarter, long way to go. Clemson leads it 24-21. Bengals linebacker Vontaze Burfict has been suspended for the first 3 games of next season for repeated violations of players' safety rules. Burfict's unnecessary roughness penalty, with 22 seconds remaining in Saturday's loss to Pittsburgh, put the Steelers in position to kick that game-winning field goal. Now, Marvin Lewis said today he has to find out another way to get the message across to his players about staying poised.
Well, I got to find a little better way.
I know that. So yes, I mean, I've got to find a better way to get it across. But once they go across that line, there's not much I can do from there unless I go out on the field, which I'm not allowed to.
All right, stay with us. Matt Jones is next.
Alt Smoke Vapor Lounge specializes in a variety of electronic devices and refill liquids. Let our team of experts help customize your vaping experience. Stop in and see why we are Lexington's premier vape lounge. Touch, taste, and feel the difference with Alt Smoke.
The Harlem Globetrotters! For 90 years, we've been turning moments like this into unforgettable memories like that.
Coming to Rupp Arena this Saturday at 7. Great seats at the arena box office or Ticketmaster.com.
The world is a pretty big place, yet somehow we're all connected. Somehow the world is at our fingertips, now more than ever, in the stylish Toyota Corolla. With Entune audio, Bluetooth, and backup camera all standard, Corolla tunes into the rest of the world like no other car in its class. Now, lease a Corolla for $159 a month with $15.99 due at signing. Stay connected. Toyota. Let's go places.
Uh-oh. What if it's my time? How would Julie and the kids get by? Would they be able to stay in the house? And why don't I have life insurance?
It's not too late to get life insurance. Don't wait till it is. Talk to a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent. Kentucky Farm Bureau. Big on commitment.
Good. Stay. Lie down.
I'd like to take this time.
Roll over. Roll over. Almost. Roll over. Good.
It took Joel Silverman years to become a master dog trainer.
Roll over. Good job.
But only a few commands to master depositing checks at Chase ATMs. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? So today you're going to choose a mobile office. Okay. You can choose this Chevy Silverado, which offers built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi, or you can choose this Ford F-150, which doesn't offer Wi-Fi. But to make up for it, we added a trailer, a satellite antenna, and Dolores.
Hey, fellas.
What? So which one do you want?
I picked the Chevy. Definitely.
Or get this dependable Silverado All-Star Edition with a total value of $7,250. See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
Yeah, I can't believe this DQ $5 lunch comes with fries, drink, and a sundae.
Can't believe it now comes with this KC barbecue burger.
I can't believe Randy's barbecuing.
Oh! It's barbecue season at DQ with the new KC Barbecue Bacon Cheeseburger $5 lunch. You need a breakfast built for work days, not weekdays. The chicken and gravy breakfast burrito from your DQ. A chicken strip plus eggs, cheese, and pepper gravy in a warm flour tortilla. Served with crispy hash browns and coffee. Just one of our delicious $3 breakfasts. Only at your DQ.
WKYT's First Alert Weather follows you wherever you go. On TV, online, on your phone, and throughout the day on Wild 103.9. Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT.
The national championship game is going on as we speak with Alabama and Clemson. And for most Kentucky fans, it's a chance to watch and potentially root for the SEC. Look, we know we're never going to probably end up in that game, and if we do, it'll be a huge fluke. But for Kentucky fans, they just want consistent, better play. And there's a good start to that coming tomorrow with 3 guys entering Kentucky from the state. Landon Young, Cash Daniel, and Drake Jackson represent 3 of the best players this state has produced in a decade, and they're all in the same class. They just played at the Army All-American game last weekend and all had great performances. Drake Jackson was the best center in the entire game. Cash Daniel showed he's a lot more athletic than people realize going up against the best linebackers in the country. And Landon Young might be the best offensive lineman in America. I know that's a strong statement, but he's probably going to be Kentucky's first ever 5-star recruit. So while you're watching the national championship, I know you probably think, wouldn't it be nice to be that good? And that may never happen. But what can happen is some better play, and if it does, these 3 guys starting school tomorrow are going to be the ones to do it. I'm Matt Jones, and this has been Overtime.
All right, from those three guys to our guy, Mr. Snow, Mr. Ice. Well, Chris Bailey's not here. You got to, take over.
So I'm going to take the fall, right? Is that what you're saying? But snow tonight, and we're going to be tracking it already in some cases out there right now, guys. Some light stuff starting to come down, and then it will get an enhancement into the morning hours. Morning commute through midday could be kind of dicey out there as we likely run into some bands of some heavier stuff sweeping through the area. So our first widespread accumulating snow is finally here.
Yeah, well, leave a little extra time for yourself in the morning and be extra careful out there.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Be safe.